Again, apologize for that. Let's turn to Leviticus chapter 19. Leviticus 19. All right. And we are on lesson 2, second section. We have made our way down to question 7. So Leviticus 19, verse 32. If you remember, that's kind of where we left off on last Sunday, Leviticus 19:32, which was talking about how were old people to be treated. So if someone could just reread for us Leviticus 19, verse 32.
Rise in the presence of the aged.
Oh, competition. Who will win?
Ladies first.
Ladies first. I forgot what he said.
32.
All right, sorry. You shall rise before the gray-headed, and honor the presence of an old man, and fear your God. I am the Lord.
Okay, so question 7. How are old people to be treated according to God's law to the Israelites as a new nation? How are they to be treated? To be honored, right? So we know there's another reference that talks about respecting those older than you that comes in the law before this, which is from where? The first set of laws are called the what? Tradition. They used to hang in courtrooms in the U.S. but we took them down. The 10 Commandments, right? So the 10 Commandments say something about respecting those who come before you. What does that say? There's a commandment in the 10 Commandments that says something about honoring those that are older. Okay, so honor your mother and your father. That's the concept. Now we get to Leviticus 19:32, and you not only honor your mother and father, you have to honor those that are older than you. It gives one description. What does it say? What physical description does it say in verse 32?
The old man.
And what kind of hair do they have? Gray-headed, right? As a concept, symbolism, right? So when you get older, just like the leaves change color, your hair change color, and you're giving honor, basically, blanket statement. Don't only just honor your parents, older than you. This is the concept that God set up for their society. Remember, these aren't just religious rules. These are their national society rules, right? So these aren't just religious rules. These are also their society rules. So this law, this Torah, which is the first 5 books of the Old Testament, as they're referred to, think of it as their constitution, their Bill of Rights. These are the laws that govern them for how they should worship, how they should interact with God individually, how they should interact with each other, and how they should interact with the nation they are living in, which is Israel, right? So that's the concept that we have here. So God's point was honor those. Now we get to today's standpoint, which we talked about last week, and mankind have moved very far away from this. 2 problems, right? Maybe not just 2, but one problem is some parents don't raise their children to honor authority. Shame on you. I'm not a parent, but we got to get back to calling a spade a spade. Some people are bad parents. Right? Some people are bad cooks. Some people are bad teachers. Some people are bad preachers. Parenting to me is like, just because you have a kid, parents feel like that right? Just like men, just because you fathered a kid don't make you a dad, right? We got to get back to the essence. A dad is someone who takes care of their children. Not that many dads in the world, right? It's a lot of people who are biological fathers, but some dads raising other people's kids, even if they don't live in their house, because their physical father is not being a dad. Same thing with mom. So we got to get back to calling a spade a spade. Some people are not good parents. Like, don't tell me how to raise my kid. Don't tell me how to run my house, blah, blah, blah. Those are cute buzzwords that people in the world say. But it matters how you raise your kid, because your bad kid about to come into the world and interact with someone else's good kid. And now good and bad in the same classroom. Now what? So it matters how you raise your child in every society you live in. One of the problems with America is this freedom is dangerous as an ideal, right? Because some things, think about it. If you gave your children total freedom, what would the outcome be for dinner? McDonald's and ice cream, right? At some instance, you have to interject with some rules and regulations, right? Same thing happens in America. We have to get back as a church body to the essence of how God wants things to function, right? If you know you are not doing the things that you should be in your home, don't be offended when someone tells you that, because your kids are going to interact with other church members and with the world. So it's only to help you, right? Because at the end of the day, we all go to our own house and live our own life with our own last names. It's only advice coming from older generation. If you have somebody in church who have grandkids and they give you advice how to raise your one snot-nosed kid, you should listen. Because how many kids you got? One. And how many that other lady that raised? She had raised all the way to grandchildren. So therefore, she has more experience than you, right? But pride aside, I don't know, nobody tell me you're ready for, you don't know what you're doing. Get back to being honest with yourself, right? Just got a new job. Somebody say, hey, you doing that wrong. Should do this. That's how you saying, don't tell me. The person say, oh, you did this job before? Oh, nah, watch on YouTube before I started. Like, what? What are you talking about, right? Same way, raising kids. Same way, marriage. Same way with men, leadership. Someone say, hey, brother, you not praying the right way. Well, how you know? Well, I've been baptized 20 years. I probably said 1,000 prayers. You should pray this way because you're praying over this specific. Instead of being prideful, say, oh, that person been a Christian longer than me. That person did more sermons than me, more Lord's Suppers than me, led more songs. They're trying to help me, because it's better, especially for the men, it's better to have one of the brothers than one of the sisters. Because I've seen sisters come up to brothers and say, that was a bad Lord's Supper. Now, sisters know their Bible. You off on a tangent telling some little story about butterflies and bunnies in the field. And the lady's sitting there thinking, what is he talking about? And I seen a sister walk up to a brother and said, what was that? You need to practice Lord's Supper. Now you upset. Well, you should have listened in the men's circle. Better the men say it. Same thing with home. It's better you get your instructions from home, from people that are familiar to you and love you, than to go out in the world and find out what you're doing is wrong. This is why I said one of the main problems is parenting and the lack of good parents in the world, because you ill-equip your child. In the world, another harsh fact, don't nobody care about your kid. People have died on the subway in New York, and people still going about their day. Dead body riding around for hours until somebody say, hey, man, oh, this person dead. Look, I'm busy. I don't got no time to worry about who breathing on the subway. I'm late for where I'm going to. We feel somebody should take care of us. No one is going to take care of us. That's what's wrong with us also as a country, always looking for a president. No one is going to help you. Help yourself. America as an institution feel like you got enough opportunity there for you. That's why when they pinned that, they said the pursuit of happiness, not the guarantee. When you was watching Roadrunner and the Coyote, a lot of episodes was pursuit. Did he catch him every episode? No. Some people will not get there. We feel like, oh, American dream. What you do with dreams? You wake up and go to reality. It's a dream. Not everyone will achieve it. These are the harsh truths. You have to put your hand to plow, not look for your mayor, governor, senator, president. Those people are worrying about their own last name and their own legacy, not you. You worry about your own last name and your address, your street, your community, and the world would be a better place. We have to get back to the essence of life. How can I be a better person today? First, that benefits me. Physically, emotionally, financially, and spiritually. How can I be a better person, right? Some of being a better person is respecting others. No leader can be an effective leader unless they know how to follow. That's another thing. Sadly, with men want to do the preaching. No, take the garbage out. If you're not good enough to notice that it's garbage missing, why do you think you're good enough to preach? Start at the bottom. Jesus took his outer garments off and washed feet, the creator of the world. Don't tell me what you don't want to do, because men start talking about, that's not my ministry. No, sweetheart, nobody was talking about who divvied up ministry. What you talking about? Jesus washed feet. What are we talking about? Anybody in here Jesus? No. So therefore, we all should be doing the lowest, because what did God say? First got to be last. Last can be first. Humble yourself in the sight of the Lord, and who will do the lifting up? He will. We want to go to the top and skip the steps. Nope. Get some wisdom from a generation before you so that you don't repeat the same mistakes they did. Instead, each generation is too prideful and arrogant to get help. We got to stop doing that. You only frustrating your own life when you don't take good advice. And as you go from teenage years to 20s and 30s, you start to see that coming to fruition. But most people, like we talked last week, waste so much of their teenagers and 20 years that when they realize that, man, people was giving me some good game I could have been using, a lot of time it's too late. And that's why people say, yes, look at the system, because the system is designed hoping that most of the people don't get it. Because if most of the people started getting it in the system, it will turn the system balanced like this, because now you'll have more haves than have-nots. And then what? See? But instead, they lock each mind away like a jail. Lock your mind away. Oh, you too fat, you too little, you too lazy, you too stupid. And you start believing that. Hey, why you don't do this? I'm too fat. Who told you was too fat? I don't know, TV and that. Worry about you. Each person was made in the image of God, and we're letting other people that breathe the same air as us discourage us so they can be encouraged and gain. You have to remember who you are, because some days no one's going to remind you of that, right? Your family could be struggling. Church could be struggling. You sometimes have to be the strong one to look in the mirror and say, God said on the 6th day, let's make a new thing even better than angels, because let's make something in our image and give that being dominion over the earth they're going to walk on. And we walk out the door defeated because what people said to us. These things all matter, because how you view yourself is how you interact with society. Those are the things that people don't hear from the television. First, you got to feel better about you. If you don't feel better about you, authority and society and country and jobs and eating right and taxes, none of them things is on your mind, because you're depressed. So you cannot look out into the world and be an operating force within the society you live in, because your home is not right. When you on a plane, they tell you, put your mask on first, or both y'all lose oxygen and pass out trying to get each other's mask on. Somebody got to breathe. Somebody put their mask on first, then you can start helping the row you sit in. This is how we have to get back to the essence. All of this as a base, as a function, comes from the last few weeks we're talking about how you treat others, poor, disenfranchised, and will you listen to those older than you so that the next generation could be better. Instead, the world getting worse every generation when it could be getting better, because each generation won't take advice from the previous. The most successful people on the planet take advice. They know I don't have all the answers, so I take advice. They may say out their mouth what they do, but when it's behind closed doors, they looking to get information, right? There was an artist that said, good artists borrow, great artists steal. Great artist gonna say like, "Oh, let me see what you drawing. That was good. Mine was stupid. Let me go." Then I looked at it. People say, "Ellis, that's so good." I said, "Yeah, nice, right?" No, I can't help it. You back there not marketing yourself, but I looked at your sheet. You drew something nice, and I'm confident you not. So too bad for Ruby. Now the world think Ellis made this drawing. That's how people live every day. Successful people stay walking around looking what they could steal. Ooh, let me see. I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take that. And the rest of us walking around defeated. So when we look at this from a society standpoint, right, especially where we are as a country, first look within. Start with you. say, if God allowed me to live into 2017, I'm going to have a better 2017. 7 days in a week, I'm going to try to get at least 4 or more days better outlook so that the majority of my days per week will be better, which means the majority of my weeks per month and the majority of the months per year. And at the end of 27, if I live, I'll have a more productive year for me. Don't live every year in the same bad relationship, bad job, no money, bad health, not growing spiritually. Why? When you're made in God's image, God said, no one is above me. The world is my footstool. God said, when I couldn't find anything to swear upon, I had to swear upon myself. That's how God feels. God spoke creation into existence. You're made in his image. Be energized with the spirit that lives within you as baptized believers, and it will help you live a more productive life. But you got to humble yourself, right? Even the Bible says, what about Jesus as learned obedience, right? Learn that through obedience. Jesus said, everything I do, the Father told me to say. I don't say anything. Hey, good teacher, why are you calling me good? No one good but the Father. Humble yourself and you'll see God truly lift you up. So those in the world that can take these passages to light, looking out and respecting those less fortunate and others, and not judging based off of other factors in unrighteous judging, but judging based off of pure judgment and honoring father and mother and giving respect to the elderly, blessed. Do that, end up in the grave, in jail, or down and out. Right? Hard head, make a soft behind. That's how life works. But if you don't see that, if you're gonna go through life saying, I'd rather be hard-headed, I'd rather burn my left hand to know it's hot, then at least I have good one hand. I don't think that way. I'd rather have 2 good hands. So if I see somebody else burn, Ellis don't think, well, let me touch it. Maybe my hand's stronger than theirs. Some people live that way. Some people will watch TV and they say, if you put this in your mouth, you get cancer. And people say, not me, I'm gonna get no cancer. Why not? I don't know. I just think I won't. So let me put it in my mouth. Then you say, oh, I got cancer. What? Of course you got cancer. Why you thought you wouldn't get cancer? I don't know why I didn't think that. Did the TV tell you would get cancer? Yeah. Did the box you pulled that out say you was gonna get cancer? Yeah. It said caution is you could get cancer. And you thought, well, you wasn't gonna get no cancer. I don't know. I want to have, what's the word, 3 letters? Fun. Okay. Go have fun. There's a lot of fun in this world. Short term. If we was just doing sprints, if life was a sprint, I would be like, boom, let's do fun. Life a marathon. And I could do something for a decade for fun that ruined the next 50 years of my life. Y'all ain't that much fun, right? Because fun, once it's over, ain't fun no more. Then you think of yourself and say, that was stupid. And who does it impact the most? You. You have to be your greatest asset in life. Truly. You only going this way once. There is no do-overs like, oh God, hold up. I had a bad 90s. Let me get a do-over in Y2K. Ain't no do-over. Oh, I had a bad 30s. Let me just 40 the new 30. No, it's not. 40 is still 40. That's all it is. And you got to keep living your life. No, I got to try over. I need to get my groove back. Groove is like trains. They gone. Finish. You got to catch a new wave. Right? That's how life works. By the time you try to catch up, people have moved on and progressed while you just now learning. Oh, that's what I should have been doing. It's too late. Which is why in Ecclesiastes, Sister Nadine brought that up last week. Solomon said, remember God when you're young. Because if it's in your mind, when you're old and you forget other things, you won't forget that. But it's hard to learn things when you move on and progress in life the older you get. Because like your hair changes color, your mind has filled up, deteriorates, you get weaker. These are the facts of life. Again, if life was just a sprint, or if we lived forever in the physical, I would look at life way different and agree with the world. But it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And we don't live forever in the physical. That means I looked into the world and said, whether you religious or not, you both get sick, you both die, you both have financial hardships and successes. So which one of them groups, religious people saying, well, I'm going to have peace in this life because of Jesus, and I'm going to go on to be where I need to be in perfection. That sounds like a good deal. Non-religious, what's the solution? Oh, we don't have no solution. Dog eat dog world. No, time out. So both groups gonna go through the same heartaches and pain, and y'all just gonna be miserable while you go through it? Yeah, pretty much. Well, a long time ago I said no offense to y'all, but that don't make too much sense to me. I'd rather be happy going through bad things so that my mind can transcend. If you telling me, Ellis, bad things come, whether you saved or unsaved, I'm going to say, then what's the difference? Well, the difference is you can live longer on this side if you do certain things and don't do. Okay, let me check with the other group. Any of y'all believe that? Other groups say, nah, we don't believe that. Okay, and then what else? You can live a more peaceful life while you're going through those things. Great. Any of y'all got a solution for going through? Nope, no solution for that. Just cry. Or go on Facebook and Instagram and woe is me. Start posting, oh, woe is me. I hate my life. No, I don't want to do that. And then what about when you die? Both groups going to die. This group say, well, when I die, my body going to be transformed into its perfect state in which it was intended from the beginning. Wow, that's great. Any bills there? Nope. Any pain there? Nope. Any heartache? Nope. Be with Jesus for eternity. Back to the source of which gave life. That ain't too bad. What y'all got? Divided. Oh, some people say you wander the earth. Some people say you go into the abyss. Some people say I go to purgatory and then I got to work myself. I say I don't like working this life. I don't want to work to the next life to get to a third life. So all that stuff long time ago, I discounted that because it didn't make sense to me. Again, if it was two separate paths, I would agree with a lot of what the world is saying, but we all on the same path of life, and what dictate where you go is based off of Ellis. Then I say, oh, then I got to start doing things that make more sense long term. This is one of those things where you stop acting like you know everything and grab some free knowledge from the people who walked ahead of you and say, hey, man, what's up there? Someone say, oh, it's a pothole here. Look out. Thanks, appreciate it. Why would I drive blindly, hit a pothole, and be like, hey, help? And person said, I told you it was a pothole. Yeah, I didn't think he was telling the truth. I figured my car is stronger than yours. These are all silly things that people do. We don't take advice, right? When we're able to take advice and apply it to our life, we're able to grow. Sister Karen?
It's just so sad because I'm having this conversation every single day. Up to last night, up to this morning, up to a few seconds ago before I walked into the building, I was having this thing coming. I don't know what you're laughing about, but he knows what I'm talking about because he was there, okay, last night. So we have this conversation every second. Yeah. And the problem is, I don't get it because my thing is that how many times have we said we wish we could go back and redo it and listen? But you know what it is today? I just said youth is wasted on the youth for real, on the young for real, because they think they're unique. I'm so special. Nobody has my situation. I'm so special. You have not walked in my shoes. You have not, really? So you're the only person on this earth. So what you're saying basically is the same thing. We all go through this, it's the same path. It's the same exact path, but we don't get it. So what's so unique about you? All that unique about you is that you're probably stupider than the other person, or you're probably more stubborn than the other person, or you're more hard-headed than the other person. And I call it just stupidness, because at the end of the day, it's going to go full circle, and you're going to come to the realization the Bible does not lie. The Bible talks about this. Teach a child the way they should grow. When they will not depart from it, right? They remember it when they get older, when it's too late. And as you said, sometimes I always tell my kids, don't make any permanent decisions. Don't make it, but sometimes you can't help it. Yeah. It's permanent and it sticks with them forever and ever and ever. But it's just sad because I'm watching it happen every single day, every single second. And what can we do about it?
Yeah, that's why
we can pray and pray and pray, come to Bible class, and
that's why
it's still there.
That's why the Bible says each person got to work out their own salvation in fear and trembling, right? And like I said, I'm not a parent, but I can imagine that will be the hardest, to see your child literally physically hurting themselves. And you thinking to yourself, who told you to do that? Because you've never seen us physically hurting yourself, and you have the answer. You give it, but it just fall down the ear, down to the shirt, down to the floor. It never penetrates here. That got to be difficult. And guess where you are now? Understand, that's how God feels. That's how God feels when he look at us and say, every day you making your own self hurt. And you're not listening because you think that the thing that you're doing that I say not to do is better for you. Because it feels better short term. And I keep telling you, that's what last generation said, and we still do it anyway. God is saying the same thing. That's why I say all the time, the strongest group of Christians or the people in the world that should understand Christianity the strongest or the fastest are parents. Because that's parenting. You know for a fact you're going to tell your kids something. Who have the answers? You do. And your child not going to listen and understand. And does when they do what they want to do, does it make what you say turn into a lie because they don't believe it? No. So how come we can't understand that from God's point of view to all of humanity? This is why when we study, we have to break things down to this level so we can all say, oh, now I see what you're saying. I'm too busy worrying about the Bible saying what I can or can't do, not realizing that Jesus said, whether you listen to this book or not, the rain coming for everybody. All this book is doing is preparing you for when the rain comes in your own life. People think, oh, that's for church people. Hard times coming for everybody. It don't matter how much money you got, how smart you are. Before you lay and close your eyes and don't wake up again, you're going to catch some hard times. This is a fact. So why not prepare while the sun is up? That's what the Bible is saying. While you young and you got your faculties, you should prepare for hard times. But we don't live that way. This is getting us back to the essence, right? Here's what God would like for humanity to do to live more effectively. Okay, let's turn to Matthew. Keep your finger here because we're just going to read this cross verse. Someone turn and read Matthew 7:12. Matthew 7:12. What does that say?
While the sun then highest of the kingdom will be given out into the darkness outside, where there will be weeping and grinding of teeth.
Sorry, I was just getting you. No, was that it? Matthew 7:12.
I think that would be.
Golden rule 7:12.
So then, whatever you desire that others will do to and for you, even so do also to and for them. For this is the law and the prophet.
Okay, whatever you want men to do to you, do to them. Do to others as you do for yourself. Golden rule, right? Question 8. What statements of this chapter, Leviticus 19, teach common fairness, right? What statements from Leviticus 19 we've been looking at for several weeks, how does this go into the same concept of do to others as you want someone to do to you? Is the golden rule of Matthew 7:12 found in this chapter as a principle, if not in so many words? So the question is saying, we know verbatim for a quote, you're not going to see written in Leviticus as you see in Matthew 7:12, literally verse by word, do unto others as you'll have others do to you. And then the second part of that is talking about this is the basically the instructions that come from the law of the prophets. It says, for this is the law of the prophets. So it's referencing, Jesus is saying a command that's referencing a concept from the law. We reading the law. So in this chapter, Leviticus 19, what are some things we can pull out of here to show us that from the beginning, God wanted people to treat others as they would want others to treat them? One we can talk about is the concept of fairness for the poor, right? Because it's easy, verse 10, to say, pick yourself up by your own bootstraps when you got boots and straps. But what happens when you don't got no boots or your straps break? Now you're going to look for help. Hurricane is coming. The TV say evacuate. People say, what? I'm not evacuating. Why? First of all, I don't want to spend no money and go nowhere. Plus, I don't think it's gonna be that bad. Then the rain, flood come. 911, what's your emergency? Help us. 911 saying, where are you? We can't be from there. Why? Because that's evacuation zone. Why are you still there? We didn't think it would be that bad. But can you help me anyway? Help yourself. Remember a couple of days ago, you was helping your own self. Why you want someone now to risk their life as a first responder to help you? That's how humans are, right? They'll say, you need help? No, I don't need no help. You sure you don't need no help? I don't need no help. Help! I thought you said you don't need no help. I don't know. I was stupid, but I need help now. Please help me. This is how life works. So when you down and out, you hoping somebody will be kind enough to spare a morsel of bread. But when you have, sometimes you thinking because I have, I can't relate to you who don't have. Don't worry about relating. Think about if you didn't have, would you want somebody to treat you that way? No, I would just want somebody to give me the piece of bread and go about their day. That's why you should do that. That's 10, right? Visitors and poor people. 15, if you have money, it's easy to get the best lawyers and get off even when you did the crime. But when you don't have money, you have public defender, you have bad system, jury saying you poor, probably did it, right? Bias subconsciously. So think, if you were in that situation and you know, and I really didn't do it, but people saying I did it just because this thing, I look like this, I live here, I dress like this. Would you like that? No, because I know I would be innocent, right? So you shouldn't treat other people that way. That's the concept, right? You living your life messed up. Man, I had a bad 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. I wish I can go back. I didn't listen to the generation before me. And now you see another group, you say, I wish I could go back. So think, you say, oh, I'm young, I don't know what it's like to be old. Okay, but the person, just imagine for a second, if you blew your life away and you say, man, somebody told me what to do, literally, to take a right, I took a left, you would have a better life. Would you want to listen to that now or realize it later when it's too late? I'd rather listen now. That's what the Bible is talking about, chapter to chapter, book to book, right? Listen to the knowledge while you still can. And when the lawyers came to Jesus and said, hey, what's the greatest commandment? And he said, love God, fear him with all your heart, mind, body, soul, spirit, everything, and love your neighbor as yourself. Of these things, all the law of the prophets hang. Now we see why the golden rule is such a big deal. Because if you're not treating others as you would treat yourself, none of what the Bible is telling you to do or not do is going to resonate or make sense with you. We have to get back to putting others above ourselves. People are too selfish. They are. Some of us in church are too selfish, right? One of the biggest places where I see people being selfish is picnics. No one in our church is that hungry. Don't tell me about sugar levels or about stop. I know y'all. Ain't none of us destitute where if I don't eat right now, I'm going to pass out. Anybody? No. We've been knowing each other for a long time. So how come when the food comes, literally people who not that, some of y'all ate breakfast. Me, I don't eat breakfast. Don't see me pushing nobody. I never eat breakfast. Are we not all hungry when we go to a picnic? Yes, we all hungry. So you think you hungrier than me, that you should push me out the way? Or you get to the thing, you only see a little bit of chicken and you look back and you see a lot of people, you take 2 pieces. Why? I like chicken. You don't think none of the other people you worship with like chicken down the road? Selfish. Selfish over food. God said, look at them. Look, just had worship. Look how they acting. Doggone Magi live. Look at them at a harvest day acting like that. We just had Lord's Supper. Look how silly we look. Over biscuits and chicken and macaroni and cheese and curry goat. God saying they can't even get food right. How they gonna get living in the world right? Too selfish. Let somebody else have. Even matter of fact, when things make you uncomfortable, that's when you should do it the most. Anybody work with a physical trainer? Trainer say, do that hurt? No. What do the trainer do? Put more weight on. Whoa! Why are you doing that? Because if it don't hurt, ain't getting no value from it. That's how life is. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations, volunteer, let people go before you. It will bring your perspective to where it needs to be and calm you down. Too many people in this world too riled up like a lit fuse, waiting for somebody to do something so that they can explode. Relax. Relax. Bring yourself down. Why? Because violence and arguing, all that, only creates more turmoil, violence, and argument. Bring it back to a form of harmony. When you have that as a harmony, you're able to progress and move through life. So this concept of loving your neighbor as yourself, do unto others as you would have do unto you, right? Jesus had to reword it because people say, well, I don't love me or I don't love nobody. Okay, here we go with that. So how about you just treat people how you want to be treated? I kind of could get that sometimes. We even mess that up. But if you know you wouldn't want to be judged through bias, don't judge others that way. If you know you would want people to help you when you need it, don't not help people when they need it. When you know that I have regrets, I wish I can go back and do things in my life differently, stop turning a deaf ear to advice. That's what this chapter is talking about. And again, as a header, if you have a study Bible, it says laws of social order. God don't live down here. So this chapter is for us, not him. God say, where I'm up, we have righteous judgment. People don't judge you off how you look and all that. So I don't have that problem. I'm helping y'all for where y'all at. I don't live down there. Jesus went there and came back. This is for y'all. We too busy thinking about, oh, God don't want me to have fun. God said, you have all the fun you have. You can live your life any way you want to live. But you're not living that way in my house. Again, parents, don't that make sense? Yes. So it's the same concept. So this is a chapter, like I said, most of the time when people read through the Old Testament, they don't try to make it applicable. So a lot of times we miss a lot of what is there for us. But hopefully in breaking this down, especially where we are in today's standpoint of our life, hopefully this will make sense more. All right, anyone have any closing comments before we end? All right, good. Let's end in a word of prayer and then we'll transition into worship. Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful and blessed day. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to study a portion of your word. We ask that you bless us, guide, guard, and keep us in the knowledge of how we should interact with one another and in the society that we are living in. We pray that as individuals, we can be the change that we need to see in this world, that we will be able to treat others fairly without bias and respect those that are less fortunate than us or who are different than us, and to have righteous judgment and not preconceived notions towards people, and to listen to those who have journeyed before us, our parents in authority, and those who are older than us. We ask that we can apply that to our individual lives and to our worship and to our Christianity. And we ask that we can live a way that others will see that change within us and have a desire to change in themselves as well. Guide, guard, and keep all that are traveling here at this time without the loss or harm of any. And we ask that this worship service and moments be presented to thy throne room, a sweet smelling aroma in spirit and in truth. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. All right. Thank you for all of our Bible readers and everyone who had comments. Hey,